Okay, wait a minute. Got it.
Oh, there we go.
Ooh, got it.
It's because I didn't click something.
Are we live now?
No, we still have 3 more minutes.
Oh.
You're saying this video is private. No. Abby Lynn.
Watch live now, Abby Lynn. We're on.
We are on.
We're on. Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Okay. Hello.
Okay. Hello. How's everybody doing? All right. Let me put this chat up here so I can.
It went away. Oh, there we go. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Happy Halloween.
Hello. Yeah. So we joined up a little bit late. I'm sorry, a little bit early. So we're going to give people time to pop in here. I'm going to turn my musician piece on. Brandy, Becca, how are you doing?
Good. It's no longer Halloween where I am. I'm in November. So I'm in a whole different month to you guys.
You are. I can't wait till November. It's good here. The energy is a little nuts, but it's good. How about where you are? Because we're all three in totally different parts of the world or country.
Yeah, the energy here lately, I just have to say it's exhausting. Everyone I know is just tired. They have it's like in your mind you want to get something accomplished, but the body is so tired that they just want to sleep all the time.
Yeah. I'm feeling the same thing.
Yeah, that's absolutely how the energy.
The same thing. And because it's gone on for some time now, it's like it's kind of making me sad. And then I have to remember this is just a wave that's going to pass. But I feel the same thing. It feels like very expansive, but there's like a nothingness, like an emptiness, and all you want to do, there's no motivation in that. So all you want to do is just sleep. But we've got work to do, which is
yes.
It felt for the last few months like a permanent Mercury retrograde to me. Like technology doesn't work. Everything you go to do, the link doesn't work, or this is broken, or the email hasn't, and it's just challenging.
Yes.
Let me ask you guys, have y'all been, because everything I touch, I'm shocking myself. So even in this expansive feeling, in this feeling of just nothingness, I'm also very, very electric. And so the other day I turned on a lamp that wasn't plugged in and it worked. It came on. And every light switch I touch, I shock myself, and everything. It's just weird stuff is happening that's not just kind of spirit related. It's more energetic related to whatever's going on into me.
The how many eclipses have we had now? This is our 3rd eclipse that we've gone through, correct?
Mm-hmm.
In what, the past 6 months or less?
Less,
yes, less than 6 months, and we just had another one of those.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I agree with Becca's sentiment that it's just we're continuing into this one big long Mercury retrograde. I was reading a post this morning by one of my acquaintances on Facebook, and he was saying that we're moving in now into a Gemini space. So all of these full moons, people, and these eclipses, people, it's been showing us things that we need to work on, right? And it's looking like a lot of work. But we're now moving into a space within Gemini. And so now pathways are going to begin to open up and things are going to be a little bit more clear, because we've been shown all of this heavy stuff that's coming in that we need to be working with. And we really don't know how Like, it's, it's, yes, okay, I understand I need to work on this, but how? Yes, I understand that I'm having the energy and I'm getting visions and I feel like I need to do this, but how am I going to do this? Now we're coming into a space where it's the answers are going to almost channel in a little bit smoother, and we're going to get answers to those questions as to how we can then move in that energy and begin to create again.
Yeah. I've heard that and I'm ready to feel it. I believe it. But it feels like a stuck energy right now,
Yeah.
right?
Yep. You know what? I'm gonna pull a card really quick because I would love to. Oh, Kathy is with us. Hi, Kathy. Good to see you.
Hey, Kathy.
I'm gonna pull from the star seed. I'm gonna pull from my star seed deck and just see what they have to say about that. And the intention I'm putting in is how. Nope, that one fell. How are we going to be moving forward in this? And the energy that came through came earth, learning how to be human in the world, but not of it.
Okay, that makes sense to me.
That makes total sense. There, and with this, I'm getting the further message. What do they mean when they say how to be of the world but not of it, right? What does that even mean? And so even the image, she's in this bubble. I'm sorry, it's so bright. She's in this energetic bubble. So when you are of the world, you're able to see clearly, as she's in the energetic bubble, you're able to see clearly what is going on and things are occurring, but you are not absorbing it inside of you. You're not becoming part of that collective loosh. That actually, the word I want to use is that drudge, that heavy drudge of that energy. I mean, we're seeing on the global scale, right? The doom, 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 the war drums are a banging.
Yeah.
And so the goal is to not become a part of that call. That clarion call is not for us.
Yeah, let me say something. I know, Becca, you had a card up as well. Someone just messaged me that they're waiting on you. So I don't know if we need to look at something else on the live to see. Are there people that have joined aside from Kathy? Kathy?
No, not yet, but we're all in there. We are live. We're up and we're live.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to let you know. So I agree. Becca, what did you pull?
I pulled, well, I've just been shuffling as we've been talking. So I just looked at the bottom of the deck. And this is a perfect deck for Halloween. Okay. So this is Queen of the Darkwood Elves. And it says premonition, foreshadowing, and mystery. This can be parts of this deck are very dark and part of it is very bright. So it's a really interesting deck. But what I'm feeling from this as I'm talking about it is there are people like us in this in this spiritual space right now that don't have the best intentions. And when you're viewing, when you're scrolling through YouTube or TikTok, this energy is asking you to be very discerning about people that appear to be one thing. So appear to be like quite exotic or fun, or whatever they're saying is really catching your attention and drawing you in. But it's asking you to look a bit deeper, look at the motivation behind what they're saying, because the dark and the light is getting even more, like Abby said, even more distinct. So we're able to use that discernment to understand, what is this person actually saying to me? What's the agenda beneath their words? That's what's coming to me with this one.
Yeah.
So I would love to pose to both of you guys a question, just for the audience listening. So we hear this so often: use your discernment, use your discernment. And like Becca was saying, these people, they can create these platforms, and they look so shiny and brand new, and they say all the right buzzwords, but there's dark intentions. How does that ding 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 for you, that discernment, when you're looking at someone that has the exterior of someone who is there for good intentions, but their heart and their ethics aren't? How does that feel to both of you when you've been confronted with that in your body or energetically?
It feels confusing sometimes. I feel like confusion is like a red flag for a lot of things. It's your soul saying something's not right. Doesn't always mean that, but you'll feel you just, I don't know how to explain the feeling. I don't know. Let me think on it because I truly don't know how to express that feeling.
Becca, do you know what it feels like for you?
Yeah, it kind of feels, what I heard when you asked that question was their words just feel hollow.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like, so it's the energy behind the words that I'm tuning into. Something doesn't ring true. So I've got like, they're drawing my attention to my ears. Like it doesn't ring true. And it's about trusting yourself and going, but that doesn't feel true to me. That might be your truth, because there are so many different versions of the truth, but that sounds hollow to me. It doesn't sound like there's any heart in what you're saying. That's how it feels to me. What about you, Abby?
Yeah, it's definitely when I'm hearing a song or when I'm hearing someone speak, it does my body. I'll get the goosebumps, or I'll get the chills, and especially with channeled music, my whole body will just feel it, and that's how I know, oh, that's channeled. That's channel. And I don't know why I always do that. Like I straighten my back for a minute because I'm feeling, when I'm doing this, my nervous system, that spinal fluid is it's just lining up. And when I'm lined up, I'm connected through my crown up into source, and I can just feel that, like, ooh, I'm almost feeling those words or this music and these songs coming straight in through my crown, and I can feel it resonating through the body. And that, to me, where if somebody is all shiny and brand new and saying all the things, but I'm not feeling anything from it, then there's that, to me, there's a disconnect there. And they're not speaking through their heart. They're speaking up through logos, through that ego space.
Yeah. And you can almost tell when somebody's speaking from up here, rather than, even if it's like basic language, but you can feel that connection.
Yeah.
You just know it. It's a knowing for me. I think that's why I don't always feel it. It is a feeling, but it's also just a knowing. But I want to say, even when we do this stuff, we mistake people's intentions still. We don't always, we have to go through those lessons. I feel like they get shorter and shorter or smaller over time, as we kind of build our spiritual strength. But people are really tricky.
They are.
And, and so it is truly, truly trusting that feeling inside. Does it feel safe? Does it feel right to you? Or is something off? If something's off, trust it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna shift just for a minute, because we're about 10 minutes into it, just allowing some more people to come into the show. We're airing this on Halloween, and this obviously, I've been watching my feed today on the socials, on the interwebs, as my daughter calls it. I love it. And there's light and dark even within this holiday. And some people are, how dare you as parents allow your children to participate in this holiday? This is so dark. This is a night of rituals. You are participating in the satanic work. Like, we're never going to break through that spell. But I picked up my daughter from school today, and then I took her off. I dropped her off with friends to do some trick-or-treating. All I saw today were excited children, laughing adults in the best mood and laughing. And I just saw all of this creativity, this creative energy. I mean, I saw this little girl come out with her dad, and she was dressed as a mermaid, and the dad had this costume on, and he was dressed like Poseidon. And just that connection and that joy, and again, that shared creativity that they worked together to pair up their costumes. I mean, I think she was only 6 years old, right? And all I'm seeing from it is joy and happiness. And just like anything, just like with that card, for people who do this work, it's what you put into it. There is dark and light in every aspect of life. And when you understand the esoteric and you begin to look at all of the dates or the numbers that this nefarious dark energy has made us fear. Like, for instance, the Friday the 13th, that 13th number, that number is divine feminine. It is a beautiful number that's to be celebrated. And there's a reason why they also use this date, this time of the planet, to do nefarious things. Well, why can't we alchemize that into beautiful things with that? Because this is still a very energized, and I'm like, what I'm seeing energized is like, you know, and you were talking, Brandy, earlier about getting the electrical shocks everywhere. This is a very heightened, energetic time. So why can't we use that for the light and for good, and to work on manifesting beautiful things, both for ourselves, our loved ones, and for humanity?
Yeah.
So I choose to not hunger down and hide in my house and say, this is fearful and awful, me. I choose to light it up. Just to light it up and have so much.
Light it up.
Light it up.
Well, I think that it's important. And I think that our world is shifting, and a lot of us are lighting it up. And a lot of us are coming into this from a very pure place. And we want to help shift humanity, and we want to help others see their own light. And we are combating the dark with it. And when there's darkness, we shine brighter.
Yeah. Absolutely. I've always said you can't be a light worker if you refuse to go into the dark.
Oh, for sure. For sure. The more I do this work, the more the dark shows itself for me, mostly in nightmares. Like nightmares like I've never, and I've shared this with you guys before, but yeah, the more I do it, the more it turns up at night in nightmares, and it turns up in my relationships, but not in a bad way, but it's unearthing all sorts of stuff in relationships that if I was still in my 9-to-5 corporate job, I would never have addressed. And they're hard things to address. And that's why I think this, at the moment, it feels so exhausting, because we're being time after time brought things to address. How do I respond to that? How do I feel about that? I thought this situation was done and dusted, and all of a sudden up it comes again. And that's what's exhausting, I think.
I was looking at that today because I'm like, why, like, when will this end? When will we get to a point where we don't have to go through these cycles of feeling these things, where we can just, like, we've already gone through so much, each one of us here, right? And we've already elevated and learned so many lessons. I'm like, white flag, like, why don't we just soar from here on out? How about that? Like, I was thinking earlier, I'm like, in that empty space, there's a feeling of wanting to go home. And I told you ladies before we got on, it's not that I want to hurt myself or anything like that, but it's like, I truly don't understand why I'm here. And there's this longing. Where that is, I truly don't even know. And I felt this my whole life. I started thinking back on different times in my life where I felt this. And I'm like, you know what? If I'm here, well, I am here, but I'm here with a certain mission. Then let me be here and tackle that and be fierce about it, and not continually have this fight. I feel like it's a fight within myself. I know I'm here to do good. Let me do good. Like, you know, wherever home is or whatever that calling is, like, throw me a bone. That's what I feel like. What about you guys?
Yes, I was on a walk last week, and there was tears, just tears and tears and tears and tears. And I said out loud, Spirit, for goodness sake. Well, I didn't quite.
Yeah, I was like,
you know, I didn't put it like that. For goodness sake, give me a break. Like, I got quite angry and quite frustrated. I was like, if you still want me to do this work, you have to help me. Where have you gone? Because I felt kind of a bit deserted.
Yeah.
And I've never been that frustrated like that. Where are you? Where are you?
Yeah.
You need
but
to
it's
come.
not like we have another work or job to go to. That's not fulfilling. This work is actually fulfilling. So when we get frustrated like that, because I did that today, I'm like, I know that this is what brings me joy and makes me happy. You know, even through all of the tough things, this is it. So
Yeah.
I know that you
Smart
spent
as
time in corporate America, so I know that both of you did. I know you can kind of understand that.
Sorry, guys.
Yes.
I'm sharing our live because I think we're live on a different on the people are texting me. So we're not live on the original link. We're live on a different link, but on still on my channel. So
Oh my God.
I'm sharing that out right now.
Okay, so
Have you got some cards, Brandy? Why don't you pull a card while,
okay.
or if you want to?
Yeah, sure. I'm gonna go pull that link and send it as well. So let's see, these aren't cards that I use often, but it's the Isis Oracle. So let's see what comes up. Healing the divine masculine.
Ooh. Oh, those cards are amazing.
I know, there's so much going on in here. Sorry, there's a glare on it.
No, I love it. I love it. Honestly, do you that beautiful feminine energy behind that masculine energy?
Yeah. And you know, it's funny because I feel pretty balanced with it. Like I feel like I can definitely go into my masculine and go into my feminine. They both need love and support. Both of those elements of me need love and support. And I find it, yes, I can do it by myself, but I feel like with others, it's so much more powerful.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so with the masculine, and if you even since you pulled up Isis, when you go and you look at the statues in Egypt, so often the masculine man is actually tucked up and the female is holding him.
Yeah.
And that explains so much of why it is important for the feminine as the strong supporter, the backbone of a divine masculine.
So what happens, like y'all know that I am, you know, an independent woman right now. How do you find that when I'm not dating? Like I'm not even meeting people really. Not really. I mean, my heart is still open, even though I've been through all of that. But that is an element that I feel is lacking. And it's not within me because I can pull out both. So, and y'all know I live in a place where I don't have many friends physically close by and family. How do you navigate that? Because I find myself like thinking about it often.
We are living in a culture and a society where we have been falsely fed a line that a woman can do it all. They can do it all. You don't need a man. That's been decades now, decades. At least here in the States, Becca, I don't know what type of propaganda machine Australia and England has been pounded with. But you can do it all. You don't need that. And we simultaneously are also dealing with the highest level of mental health issues, women having panic anxiety attacks, because the feminine has been forced to thrust themselves into their divine masculine.
Mm-hmm.
This generator, I can do everything. I'm the protector and the breadwinner. I'm doing all of it. And we were not designed as this beautiful divine species, this yin and this yang, to do life in this way.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and just because we can do it, Just like a man can do it, I mean, a female can do it, but it leaves us exhausted and out of alignment within our energy. It's the the divine nurturer and the divine, the hunter gatherer, the divine protector. And that's that balance. And when we don't have that, then we get thrown out of alignment, because then we're having to occupy both of the energies. And just when I look at it that way from energy, it's tragic.
Are you saying I'm tragic?
No, I'm saying
No, I'm totally kidding. No, I know.
it's not, it's just we weren't built this way. It wasn't supposed to be this way.
Yeah, I agree. And I feel that very strongly.
Yeah.
And it's frustrating.
And the more that you become awake and aware, and you're embodying your own light and consciousness, then you are ready for that divine partner, because you can feel that I'm not in alignment. I shouldn't be doing all of these things. Just because I can doesn't mean that it's the right flow. And so then it's waiting for and looking for and manifesting in and calling forth an equally awake and aware partner coming into your life. Because therein lies the struggle. When you've done all of this deep healing work on yourself, which we've all been doing, all these cycles, it's going to be hard to bring in a partner, because then, well, I don't want to have to heal you now.
Touche. Yes.
And I agree, Abby. I also think it's very difficult to be a partner of somebody that does what we do in the way that we do it. So that they're not, as we would say in the UK, they're not 10 a penny. Like they're not, it takes a special, whether it's a female or a male partner, it takes a particular type of partner to understand this work and to support it, and to go with the ebbs and flows of it, which intuitively is why it takes a while for spirit to line the right person up, which is why I feel it takes a while for us to find that person. It took me until I was like 2 marriages and in my mid-30s before I found somebody that could understand what this was all about.
Yeah.
But there's just not many of them around, but that doesn't mean they won't appear. But spirit they have to do a bit of maneuvering to get them to you.
Or like they'll act like they're all into it and support you, and then use it against you in court, huh, Abby?
So what Becca was talking, I pulled from the star seeds and asking the question about these partnerships, and the card that came down was karmic relationships, and Orion energy, polarity, soul growth, and conflict. Yeah, this is what they have to say. And the two people are actually worlds apart, as you can see that card. But it's the polarity of it, the yin and yang, the positive and the negative. And will your worlds meet? And maybe sometimes we have to work through some of those karmic relationships in order to bring forth. Or you can look at it as the karmic relationships then parted the waters for something magical to come in.
Oh, I like that. And I also believe that as we're doing this work, those of us that are, single in it, that there is a counterpart doing their work as well. And we're just not ready quite yet to meet.
Yeah.
That's what I hope.
And can I just pose a question? And I'm going to pull a card on that same thing, Abby, see what this deck says as well. But when we think about witches, like bringing it back to traditional witches, do you ever hear of any of them having any partners?
No.
I don't know the answer to, I don't know why that is, but it just popped into my head. I was like, why is that? Why were these always portrayed as single women.
Yeah. I mean, so yes, historically in the folklore is, you know, the image of the woman living out in the woods by themselves. And yes, that absolutely is part of it. And in some of my research though, they were highly functioning normal people that had husbands and children and families. And it's interesting because actually in a lot of the cases they didn't, it was just the wife that was charged. They didn't implicate the entire family. It wasn't the husband either. It was very separate.
Interesting.
Yeah, I found that interesting too. So, because in my in my house, you know, it's everybody understands this work.
Right.
In my house, yeah.
You're all going down. I'm just kidding. My son would be like, just take her, take her.
Oh, that's awful.
I don't know. No, he wouldn't. I'm just kidding.
I would love to ask you guys what is, in regards to why do you do this work? Why do you do it? Brandy, to you first.
Me.
Mm-hmm.
I always wanted to help people, but I didn't know what that looked like. And I really couldn't even help myself.
Yeah.
And oh, you're gonna make me cry. See how much that like one little thing is like a feel. And it really took a lifetime to understand who I was and that I am directly connected to source energy and to Mother Earth, and that miracles and love are our birthright, and that the light inside of me is so powerful that I can heal myself. That I don't want anyone to go without. I want them to understand what that feels like. I want them to know that they're not alone in all of these weird feelings, that there is a purpose. And if I can help people understand that purpose, that light, that clarity with whatever I do, then I feel like my job is done. And I do believe that we're here to help light up the world, to light up humanity. And so, as I'm going along in my journey, the more and more I do, the more I see like the grandiosity of it. And that it's no longer just me and the few people I touch around me. It's much, much, much bigger. And our world needs it.
Yeah. I love that. Becca, why do you do this work?
I do it because I can't not do it. I can't not do it. So if I haven't read for a while, I need to go and read someone. It's like a release for me. Like the session I did just before we jumped on, it's like there's things that need to come out and I have to read someone with their permission, of course. I have to connect into the spirit world. That's where I feel happiest. I feel my happiest there. I feel at home there. I feel like all the other work I've done in my life has been like sandpaper on my soul, literally, like just cannot do it, cannot deal with it. What is it for? What is the point of it? I can't not do it. And I remember somebody asking me this question and saying it's not about the fact, and what you said, Brandy, about helping people is amazing. I'm not naturally built like that. I'm not. I will help an animal before a person.
Yeah.
If it comes to it. That's just how I'm built. I'm not the type of person that will go around and say, I just want to help people. And I love that in you, but that's not innate in me. And I'll admit that. But this is how I do it. It's like spirit has said, okay, well, you're not going to be drawn to it for that reason. Let's put it in your body to such a point where you can't not share it. So go learn how to share it ethically and powerfully, because it's going to come out anyway. So I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. When you were talking about working with animals, it brings me to a story. Um, and these are the little moments as to why I love doing this work. I love having um, I love that I did the work to open up these abilities so I can see the world in this way. We had in my subdivision here, there is a certain breed of bird that they breed for life. And if they lose their partner, they will stay in that location. And if it's not near a natural food source or water, it'll just stay there until it dies. So we had been going by and seeing this bird for almost 2 weeks at this point. And I was out for my run, which is always my meditation, and the bird, I mean, he stayed like within a zone of this road. And the bird, as I was walking, he just went whoosh, and he flew right by me, right at my shoulder length,
Oh, wow.
in the middle of the road. And then he just stopped, and he just stood there, and he was right back at his spot again. And as I was walking, and at this point I was walking because it truly was majestic seeing this, because the light was coming down and it was just so beautiful. And I prayed, please, please send someone down. I had been working so much with the archangels. Please send someone down. Please help him understand that he is going to die. Please work him through his grief. And as I'm walking, I just see this pillar of light coming down. And it was just this rose quartz. And I don't know if you guys are familiar, if you've ever worked with Haniel. I've worked with Haniel a few times in healings. And I see this angelic being come down, and I just hear, like, I feel it, but I hear it in my heart, Haniel. So I know it was her. And she knelt down on one knee, and her light and her essence just embraced this bird. And this was smack in the middle of the road. And I'm just seeing this envelope of rose quartz loving energy around this. And it's a tall crane, right? So he was a really big bird. And then suddenly I see the bird just begin to walk. And he's walking towards water because our lake was right there. And I've never seen him back at that spot again.
Oh, that's incredible.
So, of course, I'm just like, I just have tears just going down, just watching this scene take place in front of me. And it's just, every single person should see this. Every single person should have access to know that this is what can happen. This is what it's like working within the light in these higher energies. And this is part of the reason why I wanted to make this podcast, was because I had just had it with this energy out there of people just labeling people who do this work, this esoteric work, as witches.
Yeah.
And it's somehow dark, and we're somehow going to do hurtful, damaging things, and we work with dark energy. What? There is such beauty. There's beauty that lives within these energetic fields, that lives beyond, outside of that veil. When you're able to connect someone with a loved one in such a real and tangible way, to the point where, Becca, you did a beautiful reading for me, and I could feel my grandmother right there next to me. It was her, and you brought her through, and it was in such a genuine way. For those brief moments, my grandmother was right next to me again. And it's just a beautiful, it's beautiful work, and it's a life's calling to do it.
I think there's a lot more beauty than there is darkness in it.
Yeah, and it takes a really strong witch to do this work. It takes, yeah. I don't think everyone can quite understand the level of soul health and soul strength it takes to do this work as well.
Because we have a lot of people against us, just off the get-go, of when you say, I'm a medium, I'm a healer, I'm a psychic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like right away.
Yeah.
Here's, a negative reaction or connotation. And I mean, I know for me, a lot of times I'm able to disregard what people say, but we're all human as well. And
Yeah.
so it does sometimes get to us, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Especially if it's people close to us.
Yep. And even outside of what people, even just the living, say to us, the level of being able to hold space with spirit.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes spirit is working through their own closure of this incarnation and their own transformation from here into, to the other side of the veil. We're holding space for them through their own understanding, while also holding space for a grieving still here human soul, and we're making those connections.
Yeah.
And the level of strength that takes to be able to hold that, to hold space for one who is in the depths of grief, and another who is in the depths of still processing that transitory, and still processing that they no longer have that physical connection with. I feel that a lot when it's and when it's a spouse that I'm talking with, a spouse that has passed. And they'll give me that strong emotion as they begin to recall their memories, their shared memories that they've had. So it's holding that space as well.
Yeah. And even before we get to the session and then after, and we wonder why we're tired a lot of the time, even though we do refill, it's because we're constantly holding energies both ways in our own, we're in the middle.
Yeah. And the self-belief, the sheer self-belief that it takes even to start studying this. I was talking to some of my students yesterday, and they're new students, and I was saying, this will be nothing like you've ever studied. I guarantee you will cry. I guarantee it. Be prepared to feel like you don't trust yourself, like you doubt yourself. Be prepared to feel that, but you will move through it. But it's not all kind of love, light, and rainbows. I mean, we all train together, and we've all seen each other in various states of crying and distress, and I can't do this, and why am I doing that? And that's part of what people are coming to us for and paying us for, that equal energetic exchange, the hours that we've put in, even just to hold ourselves steady in a self-belief that, yes, I'm not crazy. I am hearing these things. I am seeing these things. I'm able to share them with a client in a way that's really ethical and that's really healing. Because I was trying to describe to my husband what you're doing in a reading. So you've got the spirit coming through, you've got the client in front of you, you're trying to get the right information, you're trying to deliver it in a way that's healing for the client and not damaging in any way. And all of these things are going on in this 3-way or 4, 5, 6, whatever, however many spirits there are. There's a lot of moving parts literally to a reading that I think sometimes people don't see. And why would they? It's our job to manage that, not theirs.
And you are that liaison that brings everyone together.
Mm.
And that vessel that delivers these messages, that we translate them.
Yeah.
Right? And I spoke just briefly in another video about perception and how we truly have to, as psychics, mediums, and healers, have to decipher what is ours and what is for our sitter, because we have a lot of people with similar situations coming to us, right? So we have to go deeper. We have to dig. We're already energetically holding it all, and then we're like, oh, that's mine, from a past thing. What are they trying to get me to say out of all of this, right? And it's having those ethics in the way we deliver it, and knowing that if it comes out of our mouth and we feel like it's wrong, that we immediately go, hold on, I'm just going to backtrack just a little bit. Like before our client even says anything, we feel it for the most part, right? So there's a lot. It's very dynamic.
There is. I once had someone come up and complain to me about how the the cost of coming to a reading in a session? And I said, well, because they're like, it's just an hour or just 45 minutes. That's, no one's worth that time just for 45 minutes. And I've always said, what's worked into that cost is all of the hours outside of that 45 minutes that goes into it. If I have a reading later in the morning, I have to adjust what time I'm getting up in the morning. I'm adjusting my diet. I'm adjusting everything that I'm putting in. I'm making my field completely stress-free, anxiety-free, getting ready, everything getting ready and working up to that session. And this is just a constant thing in my life to make sure that this vessel is as clear and healthy as it can be, so that I can trust and understand that the information that I'm getting is coming through a clean filter, a clean filter. And it is all of the studying and the classes that we have all taken, because we believe in this so much within our whole being that we want to give the best experience for you, for our sitter. We want to bring in that spirit as strongly and authentically and beautifully and within a healing light, and what that takes. And even in order to go outside of this 3D realm to connect and communicate, we have to raise our vibration up that it does. They have done studies and they've hooked up mediums to all the machines to see what the body inside looks like in the middle of a channeled reading, and it mimics what the body goes through while they're running a marathon. Mm-hmm. And so from the outside, you just see this calm, peaceful reader sitting there.
Becca. Sorry, did you see how my lights just flickered and gone off? Sorry, Abby.
No, you're fine. You're fine. And you would never know that inside of that body, it's because of our vibration is, so that we can go up and we can hear them and see them and pull them in to this reality so that we can share that. So the body truly is a machine. It's a communication antenna. And we have just worked at opening that up and dialing it in the best that we can.
Yeah. And I saw some studies, and I'm not going to go all the way into it, but maybe y'all have more information, that on a day-to-day in normal business and all of that, people use generally 10% of their brain. And when they've hooked up mediums, hooked up their brains and did scientific studies, we're using 85%. Like, we're using a significant amount more brain power when we're connected into these things. I haven't been in my own studies, but there are studies out of Colombia that have like very specific scientific data with all of this. And I just found that amazing.
Yeah. Well, and also what the sitter doesn't experience is, I could be saying one thing. Okay, I have a guide here, and this is what they're showing me. So they're just experiencing what I'm talking about, but what they're not experiencing is the very high level conversation that's going on telepathically with them. That's ding, 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 going a million miles per minute, because you're getting pinged and getting information, and you're saying, well, I can't tell them that. Well, why are you showing that to me? Make that make sense. So you're having all of this whole other conversation telepathically inside with that being, but the sitter is just hearing. So I have a guide coming in, and he's feeling masculine energy. And connected with him.
filter.
That's so true. And yet in your energy, it's like, you're like, okay. Yeah.
And our bodies, like, some of us are feelers. We physically feel their pain. We physically feel how they've passed, whether it's a gunshot or a heart attack or cancer. And so just imagine what our body's going through, right? Oh. It's insane when you really stop and think about all of the different elements of it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And for those brief moments, we are genuinely embodying, especially when we're doing a small blend with spirit to bring them in, we are genuinely experiencing what they died from completely in our body, and have to work through that and say, okay, back up. I get it now. I don't need to continue.
It's wonderful and it's terrible all at once. I love it because, like, for me, even my clients seeing that, because spirit will just cut me off if I'm talking, or I'll start choking, and that means something. And if that wasn't happening, and if I was just saying, oh, they were a smoker and they passed from this, without going, like, seeing me take the big breath, I feel like those visuals and those physicalities give our readings to our sitters that much more power.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Becca, I see you warming up down there with cards.
She's ready.
Okay, all right. What question for us? Okay, so let's pull a card for the month of November.
Yes,
Okay.
love it. Yes.
Feel the month of November. So for anyone interested in these spooky cards, this is a Fairy Forest Oracle of the Wild Green World by Lucy Cavendish. Perfect for Halloween. And I'm not going to go look in my little book here. I'm just going to read them intuitively. So what have we got? I just want to take that top one, and Spirit says, cut the pack, cut the pack. I'm like, okay, cutting the pack. Okay. Okay, so this is interesting. So this card, I'll show you in a second. It's beautiful. It's called Shapeshifter, Transformation, Primal Wisdom, and Instinct. Okay, look how beautiful that card is. And I believe we've just gone through a Taurus eclipse. Is that right? The Taurus eclipse?
I don't know.
I'm not astrologer.
We were sleeping on this eclipse.
What? We're not astrologers. But this feels very okay. We're being asked to go back to our roots. We're being asked to prepare. We're being asked to make sure that we have enough resources and that we have backup plans, and that we are able to go with whatever the month presents to us in a way. So how Abby described it, being in that bubble, being in the world, but not necessarily of the world, and taking a step back and saying, what do I need to preserve? I'm actually hearing sanity. What do I need to preserve my sanity this month? How can I prepare? How can I go with things instead of fighting against them, is what I'm hearing.
I also, when I'm seeing that card, I also am feeling to have our guard up. Having our protections up for the month of November.
Yeah. And so I pulled this one. These are my spooky witch ones that I pulled for tonight as Becca was talking.
Yeah.
And I'm, as a witch, Hecate. How do you say that? What is it?
Hecate. Yeah, Hecate. Yeah.
Hecate.
Hecate.
Yeah.
Clearly not witch enough. That word. Yep.
Yeah.
That's all about the underworld. It's all about things dying so that new things can come to fruition. Yeah. And I feel like stepping into the month of November, this, for me, this ends tonight. Stepping in, it's like there's a new. I truly feel like what has died off in our lives this past month, there is a light that's leading the way for us to step into just a feeling of more like peace and understanding of what we're getting into, like our path.
Yeah, absolutely. And when I'm looking at the card too, she has a torch, but when I see that, the message is she lit her own torch.
Oh yeah, she's gorgeous too.
Yeah, she's lighting her way. Yeah, I want to pull in the elementals. I'm pulling from my dragon cards, and this is also for November as well.
I will say, those that study Wicca, which is not me, please don't kill me for for not knowing how to say her name. Teach me. Teach me. There you go.
Well, at first I was thinking it was Hecate, but that's Egyptian, so I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's Hecate.
Hecate. I don't know. I'm not Wiccan. I don't know.
I think it's Hecate. I think that's how you say it, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So I pulled from my dragon cards, and I got the crystal yellow dragon. You can see
Nice.
it's beautiful. Opens you to higher learning and wisdom, expands your crown chakra for illumination and walking the higher spiritual path. And when I'm hearing that, I'm hearing walk the higher road. Walk the higher road. Bring yourself up and out. And it goes back to the earlier card of be of the world, not on it, not in it. And that to me, like that higher path, pull yourself up in and out of, and again, Becca, this like it is still with that self, with that preservation for the month of November. It is like pull yourself in and out of it, go up into that crown, get that higher perspective so that you don't come and get into that drudgery of the energy.
Yeah, that messiness, like it's the end of going into that, just like this card said, it's the death, right? And I feel like a lot of times it's hard to always be the one taking the higher road.
Yeah.
But it's kind of our jobs.
Mm-hmm. Well, and what I'm hearing too is not so much that we have to take the high road. It's we have to show others that a higher road is possible.
There you go. Yeah.
A higher road is available. That if we don't start as these light workers showing the way, being that way shower, then we're going to continue cycling in this energy, cycle. So often, you know, a lot of us, we go into our hermit modes, right? Because, well, I can see above this, so I'm just not going to be part of it. So I'm just going to do this. I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to avoid all of it and just go up into my higher consciousness, and I'm going to be blitzed out there. But it really is, it's calling in these, I don't know why I want to say these crystallized ones, the ones who have turned the fractals on. And even when they're saying that, I'm seeing like these crystals within the third eye, and it's spinning and it's hitting, like it's allowing these prisms of light to go ding, ding. Can you guys follow? Like, can you get that image as it's spinning and moving? That when we're getting those intuitive hits and we're seeing clarity, that we need to be sharing that and embodying that. Because I'm like, I think there's this fear cycle that's going to start coming back in, which is the need through Becca's card and the need through Brandy's card, that this is this death, this is this need for preservation coming forward. And so because we can turn on those little fractals coming in through that third eye, which is so connected through the crown of clarity, that we offer that up and speak more openly and send out those ripples out there.
Comes back to self-trust again, doesn't it? Can I trust myself to share exactly what I'm seeing at a collective level?
Yeah.
And letting go the outcome of it.
Yeah. And truly not caring what kind of, and that's letting go of the outcome, but not caring what kind of response, but continuing to stand and know exactly who we are while we share it.
So we do have in the chat, Sema Dragoon said, Hecate, she's the Greek goddess of the underworld, the goddess of magic, witchcraft, night, light, ghosts, necromancy, and the moon. So
okay,
thank
you.
Perfect card for tonight.
That was awesome. I love it. Yes. I need to, like, these cards are like Becca's, they are dark and light. And a lot of it I don't understand because it's based off of, is it Wiccan or the Wicca? Is it Wiccan? See, I don't even know.
I think it's Wiccan.
Call myself a witch. Like puppets, I know what puppets are. But some of the things I truly don't know, and I'm ignorant. So that's why I don't use them a lot, because I don't want, I want to do them justice. I like to intuitively read them, but I also want to do, that spiritual divination justice.
Absolutely. Noelle just jumped in the chat. Hi, Noelle. She's saying so much wisdom and truths being shared here. So thank you, Noelle, for being with us. And thank you, Sema, for being with us. I'm so sorry. I think that when I popped up live, it popped up on my channel, but in a different link. And so I was getting information when I was looking down. There were 15 people waiting on the additional link and they gave up. So, but this will be on replay.
It's all good.
On the podcast. So everything, I always believe everything is exactly what it's supposed to be. So yeah. Yes. Beautiful, beautiful cards pulled tonight, ladies. Thank you so much for being here. We're coming in on that hour time frame. Any final thoughts that you guys would like to share?
Becca, you go first.
Any final thoughts I'd like to share? Just go easy on yourself, everyone. Just go easy on yourself. And I know it sounds cliche, but God, we're so hard on ourselves sometimes. So just go easy on yourself and just take 5 minutes out of the day to do whatever makes you feel good. That might be a meditation, that might be eating a slice of cake or drinking a glass of wine or watching a bit of Netflix. Like, don't feel that you have to be spiritual all the time. It's a lot of pressure. Sometimes you just need to go be human, because we're here to be human. We're not here to keep trying to get back to where we came from. We're here to be human. So go be human. Go be human. Go and watch Friends if you can. Yeah. I can't. I know that's a whole other thing.
But do it, because he started, Matthew Perry started speaking his truth about his struggles. And a lot of people in the spiritual community get there through struggles, just like AA, like Alcoholics Anonymous, because they go a spiritual path. People that are, struggling with depression, anxiety, drugs, alcohol, they are craving a connection to something bigger than themselves, and they don't know what to do with that feeling. And so he started speaking up about it before he passed, and he struggled a lot, and he helped a lot of people get sober and find that spirituality and find that connection. And so that's something to be celebrated and loved. And I feel like, a lot of people right now feel very alone. No matter if you're in the spiritual community or you're not, we feel very alone and disconnected. And there are a lot of people going through the same exact thing. So what I will say is reach out to one of us, because I guarantee you we can find some type of empathy or understanding with what you're dealing with. And you don't have to feel alone in it. I could be over here going, I'm feeling it too. And it'll help just that much more. It doesn't mean I can be there and give you a hug, but just knowing that, like, your feelings are valid. This will pass. This is just another wave, another energetic wave that's going to pass. It's getting better. And, we're all, I was about to say, we're all going to be okay. I can't guarantee that, but I feel like overall things are getting better than the past even 2 or 3 years, even though there's a lot of heaviness in the world. It's heavy for a reason. It's dying off for a reason. And we're here to light up the way.
Yep. Absolutely. That's just a beautiful, beautiful sentiment, both of you guys. And I agree with that, both messages completely. Becca, especially in we chose to be here, be human. I absolutely have those days, if I'm connecting in with spirit and going too high vibe, I absolutely need those days where I just Netflix and chill. I do.
Remember what we used to say when we were training?
Yeah.
I won't say the whole phrase, but
yeah.
Then I'm spiritual enough. Sometimes you just need to be spiritual enough and have done with it for a few hours or a
we
day.
would all do that in our little chat. We'd be like, and then that would, our little Q word, we can't say it here, but our little Q word would tell everybody else enough information that that person needs a timeout.
Yeah.
To do like 3D real life things, right?
You know, I reach out to you guys and I told you, and I put it on social. I was surprised. I wasn't expecting it. It was last Saturday, and my youngest daughter, she had already like gotten comfy in her jammies, and she said, Mom, do you want to come, do you want to sit with me while I color? I just feel like coloring right now. And you know, and she's a preteen, so she doesn't really color all that often. And I just looked at her, I said, yeah, I'll color. So she went online and she found these fun little Halloween and fall designs. So she printed them out from the computer. Like, we don't even have coloring books in our house anymore. And so we sat there with our, 150 colors of markers, and we just played the silliest little Halloween movies, like Halloween Town, just so sweet and easy. And we colored and we asked you, like, what color should this be? What color should that be? And then we were showing off. I did that for 4 hours. And I actually took a moment. I could feel the spinal fluid in my back. I don't know why. I've just really keyed into my spinal fluid lately. And it's an odd sensation, but I could feel it relaxing. And I realized, oh, this is really calming my nervous system down. I sometimes don't realize how hyped up I can be from doing this work and just doing life and doing all the things that everyone they're listening to this does, all those, lists. But just giving myself those 4 hours of just mindless coloring, combined with the creativity, combined with just the simple joy of watching a silly little cartoon movie, a little Halloween movie. I felt almost like I had just gone and done 4 massages on my body. And I was blissed out for the rest of the whole entire weekend. And it was fabulous. So I highly recommend doing the simple little human things if you're just feeling overwhelmed. And so often Spirit will give us messages like, I can't tell you how many times I've gotten this message from Spirit for clients where they'll show me an image of a table and the table's filled with all the papers and all the things. And Spirit goes whoosh and literally just slams it clear and throws it to the other side of the room. And they said, clear it out. Clear it out. None of this is serving you. Mm-hmm. And it's the most refreshing feeling. I love it when I see guides clear off somebody's table.
That's so cool. I love that you played. That's what it is. It's like, it's loving that inner child. And I went to Omaha the other day and met up with a new friend, and we just walked around. It was freezing. But there was a slide and there was, a seesaw, and we got on it and we're cracking up laughing. But just those moments, like, it lifted both of our spirits so much and released just, so much goodness. And that carried me. I mean, I probably need one in the house because I'd be on it all day, but I feel like we all need a little more play.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank both of you guys. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you for being a part of the show. For everyone, being a part of the podcast series. I really wasn't expecting the series to be as, I don't want to say the word triggering because I don't want to have it. It was cathartic for a lot of the viewers. I wasn't prepared for how cathartic of an experience it was for the listeners, and even for the people coming onto the show. Stored feelings and traumas that they didn't realize were still there from lifetimes ago. So I just want to thank both of you from the bottom of my heart, from my soul, for being a part of that. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful for both of you.
Thank you. Thanks for having us as a part of it. I like when I put up my post about this, I feel truly honored to have been a guest on your show, to be here tonight with you. I feel like you're so talented. The way that you hosted the show and brought in so many healers to tell their stories, and then brought up history that is lost, and made it refreshing. I feel like this is going to reach far and wide, and I'm so happy to be a part of it. So thank you.
You're so welcome.
And the song went round and round and round in my head for days. Beautiful song.
Thank you. Yeah,
Like, what is with Abby?
yeah. I'm surprised. A lot of people didn't realize that was me singing that song.
Which is so freaking cool. It's just really
Yeah.
cool. When Abby sings, it's like you see her and then her voice. And it's like, and you're just hearing it on the podcast. And then you see Abby, and actually, you're a lot taller than what I expected you to be when we came in person. I always imagined you as like a lot shorter, but you're just, to me, like petite. And then your voice is like moves mountains.
Yeah.
The song came channeled in, and the chorus of they came to light the flame, that part that came in actually when I was in the shower. It just came in as a straight channel. The beat came in, I could hear it. It first came in with, I could hear the boom boom, coming in, and I was just seeing these footsteps on this stir, and it's like I knew what it felt. I was suddenly inside of it, had to be me, and you can hear these footsteps coming to you, and they know that they're coming to take you, and you've been accused of something. And the frustration, the mixture with the fear, and then just the frustration of all I wanted to do was help.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's just the release of that. They came to light the flame, and I saw these groups of men, these groups of people, just with so much anger inside and excitement at seeing this woman just mutilated, and the complete lack of care. So that's just, the whole song came in channeled in. So
what's wild is when you were doing the who, and Becca and I are both getting chills. What I felt is you carrying that torch like Hecate. Oh my God, I'm gonna get it right, guys, I promise. And us, like those footprints being you in this world, and we're falling in line behind you.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I felt when you were like telling the story of how it happened to how it is.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Do you guys want me to sing part of the song live?
Oh my God, yes.
All right, I'll turn it on. I'm gonna have to go turn to the side though for part of it, so I don't blow the speaker out. So if I start going with them, I hear them coming near. Their heart is filled with fear. They say my name in shame. My words, they were abused. My healings, they misused. And now I stand accused. They came to wash me hang. They came to light the flame and burn my gifts away. All right, I'm just gonna do that much.
Yes.
What a
yes,
gift.
yes. Thank you for that. I love hearing you live. Like, oh.
It's like
So
an instant upgrade. It's like instantly, like, oh, we're at the next level now.
I know.
Wake up. Here we go.
I don't know if the microphone if it was able to register that high note towards the end, but yeah, that's how it came in, and just the images and just seeing that, and I could hear the beat of just the feet and the pounding of the groups of people, and I just needed to release that. So
I love it. Thank you for being that vessel.
Yeah.
Oh, show.
You're so welcome. So real quick, because you guys, thank you so much for your time. How can everyone find you? Again, I know we put it in the podcast, but how can they find you, Brandy?
So I am at Brandy Miller Psychic Medium on YouTube, Facebook, Threads, and Instagram. And I'm at Brandy Miller on TikTok And if you need to contact me for any type of session, whether it's healing session, psychic mediumships, I do all kinds of stuff. It's Brandy Miller Psychic Medium it's Brandy Miller Medium at gmail.com.
Awesome. Thank you. And Becca, how can everyone find you?
Well, thank you for having me. I've had the best time, as always. It's really easy. Website is beccafrancis.com. The best place to get me is in my DMs on Instagram, and I'm at the Becca Francis. Easiest place to get me.
Awesome. That's fabulous.
I've been waiting all night.
Brandy, that is
I
amazing.
put my granny glasses on before I go to bed.
That's amazing. Happy Halloween to everybody. You guys can find me abbylyn.co. And then I'm going to continue to make videos through the podcast, but it won't be burnt witches. It'll be something else. But thank you both so much for being here, and thank you for all the listeners. Enjoy the replay because it didn't go live. Oh well, everything was supposed to be. Thank you so much for listeners that did come on. I really appreciate you guys. Sorry, I'm looking down because I see the chat down here. So I appreciate all you guys. Have a lovely and safe rest of your Halloween evening.
Yes, happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. Yes.
Thank you. Much love to you.
Much
To you
love.
both.